I'm the most annoying guy on set because I'm saying, excuse me, you do realize that this should be happening and they wouldn't do that, and you haven't read this, then that means this would be impossible. And everyone's just going, Henry, just shut up and do the thing. I'm like, I don't want to do the thing because he wouldn't do it this way, and he can't.
Were you familiar with this, the Watcher before you, The Witcher?
The Witcher, yeah.
Before you started?
I hadn't seen the TV show, and I hadn't read the book.
Liam Hemsworth spent years preparing to carry the legacy of Geralt of Rivia, training harder than ever, fighting every doubt, and pushing through the mockery. He believed Netflix stood behind him as he rebuilt a franchise on the edge. But behind closed doors, a secret decision was already taking shape. While Liam was dedicating his life to earning the armor, Netflix was planning a shift, a change so brutal and unexpected it would shatter him completely. Executives quietly explored a new face for the White Wolf, someone bigger, safer, and more profitable in their eyes. Meetings were held in silence, contracts drafted in the dark, and every step of Liam's journey was slowly erased without warning. Then came the blow no one could have predicted. Netflix had chosen a new Geralt for Season 5, and the new Geralt wasn't a stranger, not a rival, not a celebrity outsider. It was Chris Hemsworth, Liam's own brother, cast behind his back. The betrayal hit deeper than any Hollywood rumor or studio politics. It was personal, devastating, and impossible to ignore.
I'm gonna ask you guys something. Are you excited for Witcher Season 4?
Isn't it out right now on Netflix?
Just coming out, and the reviews have started to drop. So
Because I looked on Rotten Tomatoes, and bear in mind, given the backlash, I would expect a little bit of review bombing. So people who haven't seen it but who hate the concept. Oh no, you're behind, Drinker.
It's down to. Is it changed?
It's down to 17.
When Henry Cavill stepped away from The Witcher, the internet exploded instantly, turning Liam Hemsworth into a target before he filmed a single scene. Memes mocked him, critics dismissed him, and fans expected him to fail. But Liam refused to back down from the challenge ahead. He trained endlessly, studying Geralt's voice, stance, and spirit with precision, determined to honor the character fans worshipped. Even Chris warned him that comparisons would be brutal and constant. Still, Liam pushed forward, believing he could redefine the role.
That's where you start to get more uncomfortable when you're thinking, there's not a performance.
But the pressure wasn't only from fans. Netflix felt the heat too, watching the backlash grow louder each month. Executives began whispering doubts about Liam's long-term appeal, fearing the franchise couldn't survive on his shoulders alone. Those doubts quietly opened the door to a darker idea behind the scenes, one that would change the Hemsworth brothers forever. As Liam fought to prove himself, Netflix searched for a stronger face, and the name they kept circling back to was one painfully close to home.
Millions of people are canceling their Netflix subscriptions. Why Netflix stock is absolutely tanking right now. I mean, it is just collapsing totally in the red. And you can see that it is on a massive downward slope this month. It's cratering. Why is that happening?
When Season 4 finally premiered, the cracks were visible from the start, with fans complaining about rushed writing and chaotic edits. Critics attacked the story structure, calling the season soulless. And Netflix allowed the blame to shift squarely onto Liam. Though Liam delivered everything he was asked to, the show faltered anyway, its issues rooted in script rewrites and algorithm-driven decisions. Internally, Netflix panicked as global engagement collapsed. The pressure for a major change grew impossible to ignore. Executives began speaking in coded phrases during meetings, mentioning a new direction and franchise restructuring. Behind those polite terms was a much harsher reality. They were already preparing to replace their lead. And privately, one name rose above every other suggestion. A global superstar with unquestionable box office power, Netflix believed he could revive the sinking ship instantly. That name was Chris Hemsworth, Liam's own older brother. Netflix launched a covert casting operation known as Project White Wolf, a plan so hidden Liam had no clue it existed. Agencies received encrypted casting calls describing Geralt 5.0, a colder, grittier, more global Witcher for Season 5. Behind the scenes, meetings were arranged quietly with A-list actors, each forced to sign NDAs that prevented even private leaks. London, Budapest, and Prague became the centers of testing, all while Liam kept training, unaware his fate was sealed. Chris Hemsworth entered those secret rooms under a false project name, invited personally by Netflix executives seeking a superstar reset. Early test footage impressed everyone in the room instantly, cementing him as the unofficial frontrunner almost immediately. And all the while, Liam was still posting sword training clips online, believing he was working towards Season 5 with full studio support, but Netflix had already removed his name from production documents. The betrayal advanced step by step, and Liam had no idea. Liam's commitment to authenticity began causing quiet tension on set, as he fought for dialogue true to Sapkowski's world and Geralt's soul. Netflix wanted flashier moments and broader commercial appeal, not the grounded realism Liam believed fans deserved. Creative disagreements grew in script meetings and late-night calls as Liam pushed back against scenes he felt were out of character. To him, it was loyalty to the lore and to the fans' expectations. To Netflix, it was over-involvement that slowed production. Crew members whispered about mounting frustration behind the camera, with showrunners viewing Liam as too intense and too protective. Meanwhile, Chris was praised for being flexible and studio-friendly, making him even more attractive as a potential replacement. The contrast between the brothers became a tool for executives, an excuse to justify the quietly forming decision Liam believed he was defending the heart of the story he loved. Netflix believed they had found someone easier to control. When audience numbers for Season 4 dropped sharply by Episode 3, Netflix seized the moment to redirect blame without saying a word. Entertainment outlets suddenly posted similar articles overnight, questioning whether Liam had the presence to carry the series. It didn't matter that the writing was the true source of chaos, or that production changes destroyed story consistency, Netflix needed a villain, and Liam became the easiest target. Whispers inside the industry painted him as too stiff. Public confidence in him wavered, fueled by strategic PR leaks, all while Netflix held private talks with Chris about the future fans debated endlessly, unaware that a decision had already been made. Liam unknowingly fought a battle he had already lost. Behind closed doors, executives finalized their blueprint for Season 5, one built around a stronger brand, a safer bet, a bigger name. Liam's photos stayed on posters, but not on internal documents. And somewhere deep inside Netflix, Chris Hemsworth was crowned the new Geralt. Netflix made their move quietly, without a meeting or warning, removing Liam's name from call sheets one line at a time. Chris Hemsworth's codename replaced Geralt in internal documents, and Liam's future vanished without anyone speaking his name. A crew member spotted Chris testing armor during a closed fitting, a moment meant to stay hidden behind layers of NDAs. The whisper reached Liam before the studio ever contacted him. Turning rumor into heartbreak, in a single sentence, Liam checked production emails and saw nothing addressed to him, just vague memos about transitioning leads and new direction. His agent demanded answers, but Netflix replied with silence, acting as though nothing had changed and nothing was owed. The betrayal wasn't loud or dramatic. It was surgical. Netflix didn't fire Liam. They simply erased him. His armor fitting was canceled, his trainer released quietly, and Geralt now belonged to someone who shared his last name. Liam vanished from social media overnight, deleting every Witcher post, leaving fans confused and desperate for answers. He shared only one cryptic story on a black background: loyalty. And with that, he disappeared into total silence. Friends described him as exhausted, shaken, and emotionally shattered, barely able to process how deeply the studio cut him. The pain was doubled knowing Chris was involved behind his back, turning a professional betrayal into a personal wound. Rumors exploded online, from NDAs to mental burnout, as supporters demanded transparency from Netflix. But the studio refused to address the situation at all, hoping silence would bury the truth before it spread. Meanwhile, Chris prepared for the role in secret abroad, working privately while Liam retreated from the spotlight. The contrast felt cruel to those who knew Liam's dedication, as the brother he trusted stepped into the role he fought for. The truth broke when a grainy photo hit Reddit late at night, showing Geralt walking through snow with a familiar stance. But the jawline, the height, the presence, it wasn't Liam. Within minutes, fans realized it was Chris Hemsworth in full armor. Additional leaks followed: call sheets, set stills, and crew notes, all confirming what Netflix refused to announce publicly. Reaction online was instant outrage, shock, and disbelief, as fans accused the studio of turning The Witcher into a joke. Bring Back Liam trended globally for days without stopping, with creators releasing breakdown videos exposing the betrayal. Petitions surged as millions demanded justice for Liam, angry that a brother had replaced him in total secrecy. Liam saw the news the same way everyone else did, through the chaos of social media, not through Netflix. That moment marked the emotional breaking point for him, cementing the betrayal as something deeper than Hollywood politics. A late-night message from a friend delivered the final blow. It's out. Chris is the new Geralt. Liam stepped outside, sat alone in the cold air, and stared into the darkness without saying a word. He later texted one of his trainers in quiet despair, saying, "I gave them everything and they replaced me with my brother." Those around him tried to support him through the pain, but nothing softened the sting of that truth. Industry whispers began labeling him unpredictable, trying to twist heartbreak into unprofessional behavior. But fans saw the truth behind his withdrawn silence, reading the devastation written across his last interviews. Still, beneath the heartbreak, a fire began to form, a spark of resolve stronger than his grief. He wasn't finished, not by a long shot, and Hollywood was finally starting to notice Netflix erased Liam from marketing as if he'd never worn the medallion, replacing trailers, posters, and press kits with Chris's image. But fans refused to let the story die quietly, flooding the internet with edits celebrating Liam's Geralt. Other studios watched the firestorm with interest, seeing in Liam a rising symbol of resilience and injustice. Amazon, Apple, and HBO reportedly contacted him directly, offering dark fantasy leads that rivaled The Witcher's scale. Liam began reading new scripts on his own terms, no longer bound to Netflix's demands or vision. Every offer came with creative freedom and respect, the exact things he'd been denied behind the scenes. The betrayal that shattered him also rebuilt him, transforming him from an underestimated actor into a legend. Hollywood now viewed him as a powerful comeback story, one born from silence, loyalty, and undeniable strength. Liam Hemsworth's story became larger than a Netflix role, turning into a symbol of how loyalty can be weaponized. The studio tried to replace him quietly and cleanly, but fans ensured his legacy could not be erased. Chris may now carry the sword on screen, but the soul of the fandom remains with Liam. Every edit, petition, and message keeps his name alive. Echoing louder with each passing day, Liam's silence has spoken more powerfully than any statement, showing dignity in the face of betrayal and heartbreak. And in that silence, the world saw the strength he carries, a strength no studio decision could ever destroy, because legends don't fade, they transform. And one day, when Liam steps back into the light, Hollywood will remember the hero they tried to erase, and the brother who refused to break beneath a betrayal.